Hi, the Brisbane Broncos play the Dolphins at Suncorp tonight for the 7th edition of the Battle of Brisbane, and there's always been plenty of feeling in this matchup. The NRL wants to say there's two Brisbane teams. That's simply not true. I refuse to acknowledge the Lions, but there's definitely a little brother feeling with this team, especially since so many of their guys used to be our guys, and I probably support them in every other game that they play in a way that I don't for, say, the Cowboys. But then they come up against the Broncos, and it does evoke a kind of unreasonable hatred I didn't know I was capable of. Like, what kind of color is red? Also, lately, little brother's been striking out on his own and is finding his own way, and at family gatherings, he's like, oh, is it all right if I bring my girlfriend? Yeah, of course you can, bud. Happy for you. But then she turns up and she's like insanely hot. Respectfully, how did that happen? And now it's been a few years and things are going real strong and everyone's got to know her and she's great. This whole situation is great. Want nothing but the best for them. But I'm not going on family holidays with them. I can't be around a pool near this woman. She gives me weird feelings and makes me insecure. How am I supposed to spend 8 hours submerged to my neck in a swim-up bar drinking Fiji Golds until I can't see? And stretching the analogy, which only relates to my football team, a little further, it's not as if I'm unhappy or dissatisfied with my own lot in life. Jonah Pezzett is coming. He's very good, but he's 23 and playing for Para right now. That's a cucking. And old man Reynolds is on his way out. And I'm not sure if my heart was ever truly in it, because how can a New South Welshman be captain of the Broncos? But I've got to admit, I've got a bit of halfback envy. I'm coveting thy neighbor's ass, and I'm going full Pacino in Heat. They've got some great halves! First Heat reference of the season, and it took way too long, but we're so back. The beautiful woman giving me a rugby league wandering eye to whom I refer is, of course, Isaiah Katoa, who is 22 years old and very much a top 5 halfback in the league, and maybe he's 3 after Cleary Hughes. He's doing things that not many other guys are capable of, let alone other 22-year-olds. And of course, you saw the cutout from last weekend. It was everywhere, but that was the first ever goosey pass I've seen. And we saw last year the Dolphins' attack is the best in the league, and it doesn't take much for them to become red hot. They've had 3 weeks to warm up and are starting to hit their stride, putting nearly 40 on the Sharks last weekend, the last 3 coming in the last 10 minutes to really embarrass them. But that's the warning sign to everyone else that they're about to start scoring 60 again. The Broncos won both these matchups last season. The first was just a great game of football, a slugfest in the wet where the Broncos came out on top. Then the second, the teams met at an inflection point after major injuries. The Finns had just lost Herbie. They'd already lost Bostock. They were experimenting with Hammer at center and Fuller at fullback, and the Broncos had just lost Reynolds and Mam. And after finding themselves 2 tries down not long after halftime, they decided, nah, we'll just go on the most insane run of all time and win the comp. Real sliding doors moment in that game, I think it was when Billy put in the kick to Karapani when they'd run on 5th tackle that confidence overtook everything else, including sense, and hey, somehow everything worked out. Broncos season only got better from there, Dolphins only got worse, and they end up missing the 8. Really, the only consistent thing about those games is that they're competitive. The players definitely care, and the rivalry is fully formed now. This is nominally a Broncos home game, which I suppose means Trumpet Guy won't be there, which is good. Checking in on the Broncos, what's happened this week? The defensive coach quit out of nowhere, the best player's injured for maybe a fortnight, and everyone's still arguing about the name of a meeting room. And I don't care about the meeting room thing, but I also work in an office where we have meeting rooms named after some VIPs, and if any of those changed, it would be horrific, and we'd also cause a riot on North Quay with the highest average age of any riot ever, which now that I think about it would be pretty great, but maybe I'm letting my feelings get in the way. Free advice from a corporate lawyer: when you're comparing 2 decisions and the outcome of one is annoying and complaining from one side and the outcome of the other is literally nothing, don't make the decision. Say you'll look at it again in 6 months, then delete the reminder from your calendar. Oh yeah, Adam Reynolds is back too. I don't think Reynolds has had a particularly strong start to the season, notwithstanding the rib injury. At times, it's as if there's 2 centers on the right side, but in a bad way. I'd like to see him do what Hunt did last week and just grab the rest of the team by the scruff of the neck and give them some direction by attempting to play a regular set of possession. Grant Anderson keeps his spot after a great debut against Melbourne. No complaints there. See you at TK Maxx, GA. And Willison comes in to start in place of Haas. And I've got complete confidence, not that Willison can replace Haas because no one can, but that he can play his best as a starting front rower. And if he does that, it's good enough. Making up for Haas in the aggregate is impossible, but the Broncos will have to do their best. And the Dolphins will test them with some fast ruck speed. Max Plath will go for it at least once, and the hammer will be floating around, ready to seize on as much as half a gap. Piakura back into the starting side makes me feel much better about the Dolphins attacking Ezra. Piakura does a really good job of shutting that down most of the time. In saying that, if Pia gets caught up in a tackle in the middle of the pack, expect the Finns to go straight at Ezra with Jake Averillo. Tackling Averillo is like trying to catch a moving fidget spinner. You can see where the pieces are supposed to be, but not exactly where they are right now. He just sells every movement with his eyes, his feet, his hands, his hips. He is respectfully the greatest liar in rugby league. Call him oil futures the way he profits off of lies and deception. Also, how do I buy those? I have no idea what Madge is going to do with his 6-man bench. Last week he only used 2 of them, and I think of the 6 available, Hunt and Tolte will definitely play. Tolte's been doing well in his minutes this year. Then it's a toss-up between Albrecht Tafa against his old club, who needs to show a bit more to become a consistent presence off the bench. Sheba, who I don't see coming on unless it's for injury. Jaden Hunt, who's not exactly first-grade quality. And then Va'a Semu for a potential debut, which is exciting. He meets all my criteria for a good young prop, being more than 190 centimeters tall and more than 110 kegs, and he's averaging over 100 meters per game in Cup this season. So he may be necessary with Haas out, and hopefully he gets a run. Unfortunately, that does mean that Blake Moser misses out again. Stay ready, Blake, so you can keep staying ready. Two guys who have always played well in this matchup in the past are Tony Staggs, who provided the motto for this one after scoring the game-winning try in the first ever battle for Brisbane, and Selwyn Cobbo, a two-time battle medal winner, who is now playing for the Ops. Like all the other ex-Broncos in this game, I want nothing but the best for Selwyn. I'm very glad to see him get his joy back and play with a smile on his face again, but now he is part of a pretty terrifying left edge for the Finns, and I want to see Tony throw himself completely horizontally at Selwyn and take him out of the field of play. The more terrifying part of that edge is Herbie Farnworth, who has started this season looking like he did in the middle of last year. That is to say, maybe the best center in the game. No one can tackle this guy anymore. He's too strong, too elusive, how did he end up in that part of the field with the ball? Herbie sideways meters was always a frustration when he was young, but when he's breaking a tackle, watching sliding defense, going the other way, then hitting a man back inside, it's a different story. Mandatory happy for Herbie, just do it another week. For the rest of the team, the Broncos hit form at the right time in Melbourne. Was that for 40 minutes, or is that who they are now? The best version of this team is locked behind the smallest amount of self-control, but this is their home, and they know where the keys are. Maybe. Could have put them in a weird spot last time. It's possible that one good half sorted everything and they've remembered how to be a good team again, or they're still working their way into the season. No one does anything in round 4 anyway. Come on, it's almost Easter. What are you doing working hard? But I guess we'll find out soon enough. Talk to you about it after. Ciao, go Bronx.